scream at me in chat and need me to stop. Thank you to the rabbis who have given the midrashim today. The challenges from Rabbi Safa and Rabbi Reuben. Also to mention More Ezra, the fantastic drosh that he sent me yesterday. He sends them every Erev Shabbat, and they're wonderful. It's very insightful. I'm very honored that Benei Avraham would allow me to give midrashim. To go up and make aliyah is a great honor. I think everybody should consider it a tremendous honor when you get called to make aliyah. Whether you read in Hebrew or in English, some people, it's a lot harder for them to learn languages. But either way, you should consider it a great honor, a tremendous honor to read from the Torah. I don't really like to give midrash. I like to read from the Torah school, but I don't like to give midrash because I don't really feel like I'm as well informed or as learned as some of the other rabbis, like Rabbi Safa or Mikhail, in matters of midrash or Agada, Baraita. But I always love to read from the Torah school. I consider it a wonderful thing to do. I was able to participate in one of the most sacred things as a Jew that you can do. Ancient and ancestral. Not just to read from, the Torah, to go up and make aliyah, but read from using the Lashon Kodesh, the Hebrew tongue. Anyways, today's parashah is Vayeshev, which means, and he settled, from Bereshis, chapters 37 through 40. We have here the story of Yosef, a young man, was very excited about his visions that turned out to really upset his brothers, and they sold him into captivity. Now, it's been said, and I definitely agree, that Yosef is a picture of Mashiach. It fits very well with the concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, because, we speak of two messiahs, Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. And I think there's a strong connection here. Yosef was saying something that his mishpacha didn't like, right? But it happened to be true, right? The message he carried made him look arrogant. I don't think it was arrogant. Now, there's some poskim or some views that think he was arrogant and think he was, this kid that was all about himself, but not necessarily. Maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, I don't think so. He was revealing a vision, and that vision, in a sense, that he would become greater than his father and his mother. And his father's like, he rebuked him for it, but he made a note, he paid attention. It's like my daughter says something, Daddy, make sure you wear your seatbelt today. I'm like, why? We're going to get in a car accident? No, I'm going to be thinking about that all day long. Anyways, I made a note. Some commentaries have criticized him for this and painted him as the, boy that thought he was the best thing in the world. Okay? But he did give a message that they hated. And interestingly enough, in the most recent travesty in biblical history, we have that of Yeshua, who was executed, cross, maybe some kind of Roman execution device. Let's just be real. We don't know. Okay. But he was executed by the Romans, by the way. Just pointing that out there. It wasn't by the Jews. That was not an execution carried out by the Sanhedrin. Anyways, it was a horrible travesty because his great teacher of Torah is a very righteous man. And we shouldn't just take out 70 years of Judaism just because we don't like this guy. But interesting that when Emperor Vespasian, when he came to destroyed Israel, Jerusalem, and he, according to, I'm not sure it's Emperor Vespasian 100%, but whatever it was, this emperor got the 13 martyrs that we talked about in Yom Kippur, right? And these 13 martyrs, he gets them all together. Well, they would soon become 13 martyrs. They asked the high priest, they're like, what happens if you sell somebody into slavery? What's the price of it? Which incidentally was similar to Yeshua, who was sold into slavery, right? So what happens if you sell him to slavery? It's like, oh, well, let me go ask Hashem. find out for you. He comes back and he says, well, they have to put him to death. And then a very disgusting story and sad and horrendous story that we should never forget is what, at least my understanding is, Vespasian did to these 13 martyrs. He just killed them in horrific ways. And we read about that in Yom Kippur, about the time we're all starving to death, because that's the second or third time we go through the Amida. Anyways, now, I once read, according to the Rambam, Zichrono Livracha, that if you have baseless hatred of a Jew, Senachanam, that it can prevent you from entering into the Olam Haba. This is a big deal. Whether you're following Yeshua or not, you should care about Senachanam. You should care about the ability of someone, of a Jew especially, to enter into the Olam Haba. This is a very, very important deal, right? I may not necessarily think, there could be somebody out there. I don't necessarily follow Yeshua, maybe not. But you don't want to have baseless hatred against any Jew, right? And a lot of times the hatred against Yeshua is based upon the treatment of people who followed him. That's a shame. It's a shanda. But at the same time, you can't have hatred against him. He didn't do anything to you, right? So instead, you should have an idea of overcoming hatred with love. Like ahavat chanam, we should overcome our hatred with baseless love for every Jew. That's great, because I don't always give people reasons for me to love me. And sometimes other Jews, they don't always give you reasons to love them, but you should love them anyways, and overcome them. And we should be complete in our love. Rav Shaul said, though I speak with tongues of men and angels and have not love, I am become as sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. Though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could not remove mountains and I have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not love, it profiteth me nothing. Even Mar Yeshua said, greater love hath no man than this, than that he lay down his life for his friends. Thank you so much for listening. Good Shabbos. And I hope you have a wonderful Hanukkah and observation celebration.